Hey everyone, welcome to a new year, 2024, of plant-powered conversations that sprout ethical change. I'm Brieanah, and I'm joined here by my friend Johanna.
Hi.
And as always, we are your vegan marketer best friends. Today, we are going to be talking about landing pages, and specifically, we wanted to get into how nonprofits, because we both have a soft spot for those that are helping causes close to our heart. Um, so we wanted to cover how nonprofits can leverage landing pages when they should, when they shouldn't, and we'll show you some examples, do a little mini critique of those examples, and hopefully you can get some ideas for your nonprofit organization. And even if you're not a nonprofit, I'm sure you're going to pick up on some tips in this episode. And we plan to go back and do business landing pages soon. So definitely stay tuned and look for that episode in the future. Plus, I won't spoil too much, but it is a new year, January, and we're both vegan, so we're celebrating Veganuary. So one of our examples might have to do with that. You'll have to watch through the whole episode to find out. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Sound good, Johanna?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm really excited to hear what you're going to be sharing because I just discovered that you're quite experienced with landing pages for nonprofits. I'm more for the business side, so I'm
Yeah, exactly.
really
That's why we
excited.
make a good team. But yeah, so for those that don't know, I am the director of marketing for the Better Food Foundation, and I have freelance clients in the nonprofit niche. But specifically at the Better Food Foundation, we often have these conversations of, should this action be a landing page? Should we just click through to the petition? What's best for the user? So when you're a nonprofit and you're thinking of where am I sending my audience? So for example, this is an email from the Animal Legal Defense Fund. So this ends up in my inbox, and I scroll down and I see there's an action to take immediately. When you click that, make sure that I open the correct screen here, you're immediately brought to this landing page. So a landing page, for those that don't know, is a specific website page. It doesn't have to be linked to your website, like in your navigation. It can be hosted where your emails are hosted, like on MailChimp. It's somewhere for people to learn more about what you were introducing them to in, say, an ad or an email. Where it comes into play for nonprofit organizations is often with asks for an action, for a donation, for, hey, join this webinar that we're doing, those sorts of things. So here, the Animal Legal Defense Fund has created a landing page, and you'll see it's a landing page because you don't have the normal header from their website here at the top. This page is specifically for ALDF and this action. What's interesting here is that they have directed you straight to the petition itself. Some landing pages, and I'll show you another example in a minute, will have an intro about the organization or more background on the cause, more information. The purpose of all that background is to help nurture your audience into taking that action. So for businesses, that's usually here's more about our business, here's our why, here's why you should buy from us, that sort of thing, building authority, building trust before someone purchases from your landing page. For a nonprofit, it's about building that empathy and building that urgency so that someone takes action. So here they've chosen to just go straight to the point and ask you to sign their petition. They have the letter here for those that want to read it. And if we go back to the email, there's more information here about why you need to sign it. So here, the petition and the email are working together instead of a separate landing page for more information to build that empathy. What I really like about this approach for a petition is that oftentimes getting someone to sign something, as simple as that sounds, can be a really hard ask. You can lose people along the journey. So the more barriers that you put until they get to the thing that they have to sign, the more you're going to lose them. So the easier you make it for someone to take that simple action when it is something as important as signing a petition, the higher success rate you're likely going to have. So in my opinion, I think ALDF did it right here. They put the background information in the email for those that needed that more information before they wanted to take that action. They have several places to click the link to sign here. So they're essentially treating their email as the landing page here. And I think that was a really smart choice. Any thoughts on this one, Johanna?
Um, not not really. I just looks good. I guess my general question is kind of like what mistakes you see, like NGOs using, but probably you're getting to that.
Yeah. Let's look at the other example,
Yeah,
and then I'll go through some more of the things to be aware of.
yeah.
So the other example that I have here is from the Non-Human Rights Project, another favorite nonprofit of mine. Um, so this one is for a donation. So unlike when you're asking someone to take a very quick action, sign a petition, hey, call your senator or congressperson in the US, that is, here you might have to do some more storytelling. You might have to do some more nurturing, right? You're asking someone to part with their money. So similar in buying a product, there's a little bit more in the relationship building, depending on how long they've been a supporter of yours, their giving history, those sorts of things that you have to keep in mind. So again, the button is right at the top. The links are right at the top, similar to how we saw in ALDF's email. But instead, here, what the Non-Human Rights Project has done is worked with a landing page. Do, 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 do. Okay. And here we have a title for your landing page. We have how they are doing on their goals. And obviously, this is past the end of year, so they exceeded it. Congratulations, ALDF. But you'll see here that there's more storytelling than there was on the ALDF page. Um, we're the only organization dedicated solely to securing legal rights for animals. They're telling their who, their how, their why. They're introducing themselves. They're motivating you to help them finish 2023 strong. So instead of these dollar amounts being right at the top, like we saw in ALDF, it was sign this. That was the only action. There was no storytelling. They've taken us through a little bit more about them and nurtured us into wanting to give. So when you're a nonprofit organization and you're thinking, okay, I have this action, let's say it's a donation, I really want someone to give towards our year-end goal. Or now that we're we're in January, let's say it's to save an animal, right? So you just rescued a dog and he needs surgery. I really want someone to give towards his surgery. You need to tell the animal's story. Where'd you find the dog? What's his condition? Really bring someone into the fold and help them understand the why. So you build that empathy and they feel part of the solution and they feel motivated to part with their money in order to help you. That's when a landing page can really be helpful for a nonprofit organization. If instead it was, um, I need you to sign this petition that we're sending to Congress, so that all Black dogs are saved forever. Sorry, I have dogs on the brain today. Um, that might not work with a landing page. And in that case, I would go more with an ALDF type approach. What we've seen, at least in my experience, in the nonprofits that I've worked with, is that the more barriers that we put in front of someone, the more clicks they have to take to get to where we want them to go, the less action they take. So for example, when I was an attorney and we would write some of these petitions or, hey, call Congress and that sort of thing, we tried to make it as simple as possible, as specific as possible, and as clear as possible to get the most people to take those actions and actually make those calls on behalf of the animals. If people have to dig around for the number or where do I sign, like you're going to lose them and you're probably going to get less signatures. So one thing to that end that I might do here on this petition is just have a button here like they did in their email on the picture, sign the
Yeah.
petition. They could replicate that here. So if someone doesn't want to read the letter, they could just click this image and it would automatically scroll to the bottom, scroll to the form for them to fill out. By eliminating any, it sounds so bad for humanity, but by eliminating choice, like I have the choice to click out of this because I'm like, where do I sign? coming to this page, it's not clear where I sign. This is the
Yeah,
first thing you see. And so you're already adding confusion.
yeah,
So I would immediately just make it clear, like sign, click here to sign, and it scrolls to the form in case I don't want to read the letter. Or you could minimize the letter so that you get this form higher up on the page, above the fold, we say.
yeah,
So people see the form, and if they want to read the letter, they can click to open it. It's all about just ease. So that when someone lands here, landing page, when someone lands here from an ad or an email, they immediately see the action that you told them to take in the other thing. What do you think?
I think it makes perfect sense, and like great feedback. And like I'm thinking, like putting myself in this situation, it's like on the one hand I'm like, people, like come on, like your attention span, and like come on, it's not that hard. But then when I think about myself, I have like 10-20 emails that I'm like going through, and like like clicking, and like it makes a difference. Like it's just that much easier to sign it. Like even you're probably losing people who just like totally support what you do, but just because they're in a rush. Or yeah, I think it's a
Exactly.
great tip.
And so another way to think about that is let's say maybe your website doesn't support putting a button at the top or something. You can always change your headline. So
Mm.
petition to Congress could be sign petition to
Yeah,
Congress or sign below, or the action should be the first thing they see. They already read in your email that it's a petition to Congress, right? So they know what it is. You want to make sure that that action is clear from the top. You're
yeah,
still telling them at every step what you need them to do. So if we look back at the fundraising one, see, help us push. So that tells me exactly like you want me to donate, right? Versus petition to Congress is not an action. It's an information, and I already
yeah,
have information. So that's what I think, between the two, non-human rights did a little better than ALDF here.
yeah, agreed.
Another thing that I want to point out, as we've mentioned in some of our other videos, is playing with bold, playing with italics, playing with formatting. What I like a lot about Non-Human Rights Project here is that they're highlighting keywords and phrases. They're guiding the user through. Um, they've made it engaging with a thermometer type um, option at the top here that tracks their progress. But even if you can't do that, use bold, use your formatting, use the length of your paragraphs to help guide the reader through. Again, those attention spans. So the more that you can bring someone's eye through a page, the better. Um, and then for donations, they use Fast Action here, which is a donating platform for anyone that doesn't know. It's also a platform you can use for collecting signatures and taking other actions. And so this is likely a built-in uh, option here with the dollar amounts, but it's also something that you can build into your own landing pages. So here, even unlike bolding, but they've used color. So they're highlighting the 50,
Mm.
and they probably got mostly 50 donations. So those little subliminal things that you can do, again, to make the amount of choices that I have to make as your audience lower, the more success you're going to have. So if you really want people donating $50, you're going to guide them through, and then you're going to make 50 the standout of all of them.
Yeah, this is very comprehensive, and I'm learning a lot. This is really helpful.
Awesome. So then the last thing I'll say is just when you are creating an action for your nonprofit organization, and I can stop sharing here, um, as you're building the campaign, even really think about the journey that you want your supporter to take. And we talk a lot about customer journeys in the profit sector when you're selling and you're introducing someone to your brand or your product and your story, but all the same applies to nonprofits. You're just not selling an item, you're selling a change. You're selling the dream that you want to create. And by selling you're asking for money. You are a nonprofit organization, so you do function off of donations, grants, etc. So there is still a business there that you need to be aware of. So as you create your campaigns, whether it's for donations, even if it's non-monetary and it's for a signature to call their representative, whatever it is, really think about every step of that journey that your supporter is taking. Um, if you're a more established organization, you can think about segmenting your audience into those that really engage with your content on a frequent basis. If you're a younger organization, I would keep it general. I would keep it easy and just make sure that you're sharing your story, your why, and why that action matters so much to you, and that shared dream that you and your supporter have. The more that you can convey that at every step of your journey, the more success you'll have at that landing page or at that action, depending on which choice you make, whether or not a landing page is right for you.
Thanks so much for sharing. Like that was really, really, really enlightening.
I'm excited to see yours.
Yeah, I think actually I like I like that you chose this and I chose Veganuary because I think they're like two quite different uh, types of landing pages for nonprofits and yeah, like I think they're like good complementary examples. So I'm gonna share my screen.
Awesome. I can't wait to see.
Okay, so how I ended up here. So I mean, the why is always important. So I chose to look at the Veganuary landing page because it's January, Veganuary, and also because I do love this brand. Like I have to say that I don't know the English or the version for the English speaking world that well, but I've been collaborating with the Finnish NGO or brand, and I think it's one of the best like vegan or plant-based campaigns out there. So I just really wanted to highlight them. So that's like one reason. And then another one is that I think Veganuary could do a bit better with their landing page, and I wanted to critique it. As a background. So how I ended up on this landing page is that I went to Facebook and I looked up Veganuary, and then I went through the ad library. No, yeah, I went to the ad library, clicked on an ad, and then you end up on this page. So just to understand the journey, so somebody would see the Veganuary ad in Facebook and click on it, and they end up on this page. You think I explained that clearly enough?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So I'll just I'm gonna start with like a quick like a run through of like some of the positive feedback, and then I have the critique or what I think they could be doing better. So my first positive feedback here is that it is concise and clear. So there's the headline, and right away they ask for your email address. So I mean, here the idea is that what they want from you is your email address, so that then you're a participant in Veganuary, and you're going to start getting the daily emails for a month and all the other goodies. And then there's like your details, and it ends up with another CTA. So I think sometimes in a landing page, like all you need is a strong headline and the email address and a CTA. That's all. So it does the job. And also the headline, sign up to Veganuary, it like clearly communicates the page purpose and what you're going to do and what you're going to get, and that's important because the headline is the most important element. And also I like the CTA try vegan. It's kind of simple and I think appealing. Also I do like at the end the option this they don't have in the Finnish one. I know because it's like you can participate all year round, but they really put a lot of effort into the January version, and you get a lot of like one-on-one support when you sign up, and this like very engaging like Facebook group and everything. But like here it says like, when would you like the emails to start? So you have the different options now in 7 days and choose my own date. And I thought that was like a nice, like the landing page works, you know, whenever. Yeah, so then that was like my general positive feedback. And then what I would do differently, or my general critique, is that I think this landing page is a little bit like matter of fact, and it could use some more like emotional appeal, like benefits and social proof. And also like considering that Veganuary started, I think 10 years ago, I think it was 2014, and the organizers, like if I had to guess, I would guess that they have a lot of data at this point, or that they know their like target audience well, or the people they really want to appeal to or get to sign up now, because I guess a lot of the low-hanging fruit like has participated by now, and maybe there's, you know, new types of audiences they want to attract. And I think it's a bit like general, the landing page. So I think using the data they have, like they could make it a bit more enticing. So then going back to the headline, like I just said that it's, you know, like clear and concise. But if you did want to make it a bit more, you know, attention grabbing, I was thinking of some ideas, like you could, for example, convey a benefit that you know, like people will get, and like based on the feedback you've gotten, or like address like a pain point, invoke some kind of emotions, or even like highlight the results that people or like a participant is going to get if they participate in the challenge. And even if you keep the main headline the same, like maybe you could have like a subhead or like a pre-headline where you talk about something that, you know, hooks the attention more. Then going down, so here it says we'll send you resources via email, including our celebrity cookbook, 10 meal plans, and lots more. And then down here we have these little pictures with what's essentially like a list of features and benefits, like what the person is going to get. But I think this doesn't really tell you much. Like, let's say that you want to attract like flexitarians and like delicious recipes. It doesn't really tell you so much. So what I would really love to see, or if I were to redo this landing page, I would maybe take each of these kind of features, benefits, and make a bullet point and create a like even one sentence with a bit more like specificity, emotion or benefits, like what do you get with the 31 coaching emails, or you know, the celebrity cookbook, like which celebrities or what recipes, like what, like really think what is going to make somebody who's on the fence like really want to go for it and give, like participate and give their email. And then going down, there's just just the form to give your name and email. So what I would also recommend adding is like social proof, because like they must have like, you know, I don't know if it's millions or at least like thousands of people participating, and I assume comments on social media or testimonials. Like I would love to see maybe like 2-3 examples of from like previous like testimonials from people who participated and loved, and like why. Like it doesn't need to take a lot of space, but people do believe other people or listen to other people and their examples. And even though here this challenge or the beginner is totally free, but still it's good to address the kind of inner critic and remove these barriers of people people yeah, like a lot of us are on the fence, and kind of like the more you address these concerns they might have. So for somebody it might be the testimonial. And finally, you could also add maybe like this credibility banner. This could also help like convince some people. And with a credibility banner, I mean, like Beginner, it's like a brand that a lot of people know. So I assume they've been in the media quite a bit. So maybe like one or two media and endorsements could also like bring more credibility. But yeah, like that's I think that's everything I had about the landing page. Like I said, it does the trick, but it is a bit generic. And yeah, like I would love to see more emotion and more specificity. Yeah, what do you think, Brieanah? You have anything to add,
Yeah,
or you
I love
agree,
what you
disagree?
covered. No, I definitely agree. Um, what I do, could you scroll up to the top
Yeah.
real quick? Yeah. What I do like about the sign up is that it's very clear. And like
Mm,
I'm coming from an ad or
yeah.
something or a social post, like I know I'm where I'm supposed to be if I wanted
Yeah.
to sign up. But I totally agree with you that like the subheader, even if they didn't want to change the headline, could
Mm,
evoke a little bit more depending on their target audience. And I
yeah.
think that's a really great point when you mentioned, are you targeting omnivores? Like, depending on where their audience is coming from, you can even
Yeah.
have different landing pages,
Yeah.
right?
I
Like,
was thinking
they,
about that too. Yeah.
yeah, so they could create a landing page that has more of that emotion, that has
Mm,
more of that social proof. And like for those that need all that convincing, like
yeah.
if you're targeting more omnivore, veg curious type people, then yeah, you might test even this
Yeah.
landing page and the one that Johanna was talking about, where you're explaining more, you're building more of that desire to try because others
Yeah.
have, and the recipe sounds so good and all that. I think the biggest thing is just to test and to
Yeah.
put options out there and let your audience tell you, right?
Yeah.
And I loved what you were saying when you go down to the
Yeah.
icons there. Even if you didn't want to mess up this section, let's say, like you
Mm,
can always create extra um, sections in your landing page. So before that final CTA, you could have more about the 10 meal plans. Maybe you show an example one,
yeah.
a example recipe or something, or you have that celebrity endorsement graphic with their picture and a quote or something, because what our mentor always says, Alex Catoni, she always talks about like the people that are going to join at the top are your diehard, like, yes, I need this. You already spoke to them in the ad or the email or
Mm,
wherever they're coming from. Like they're looking for how to get the thing because they want it so bad. So that top box is always for those like eager beavers.
yeah.
And then as you go through, you want to continue to nurture them, like you were
Mm,
saying, Joanna, like all that extra information before that final CTA
yeah.
for the workers, for the people that are like, I don't know, like what is this? What are the recipes? Like adding in that extra information as you go through the page and as you guide them to the action again, I think would be really smart. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good points, and really good like tip, the testing. Like, yeah, marketing is testing after all. So, and who
Yeah.
knows, maybe they've tested and found out that this works. But yeah, and why not have like a few different ones for different audiences?
I think we talked too about their ads when we did our ad
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
And we were a little disappointed there too, that
Mm, yeah.
they weren't uh doing enough demonstrating. I think we were talking about like they weren't showing enough there even. And so I feel like it continues to be a through line of feedback that we have for this organization. to really let people in, show behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I feel like so often, at least when I talk to clients, Joanna, I'd love to hear your opinion too. That people are afraid to give too much away.
Mm,
They're afraid to give first, right? They want some money or action, like an email, and then I'll give the thing. Like, you'll see, just give me your email. But today's consumers are way too smart for that. We have to do our jobs as marketers to really show why that valuable email address is worth the thing. And
mm,
that's why I think Joanna's advice here is so valuable for this organization across the board. All their assets to really show more and really
yeah.
create that desire. I think I'd love to see their metrics, honestly. And
Yeah.
Veganuary has become such a big thing that they're probably doing just fine.
Yeah.
But for our other nonprofit organizations that might see this and go, "Oh, I can be this simple." Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But likely you're gonna have to do more storytelling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And even if like Veganuary is doing just fine, you can still like you can still do a little bit better.
Yeah.
Every person who goes vegan for a month or like stays vegan after that or reduces their like meat eating, I think it's like worth the if you have the resources, like worth the effort to test your marketing and find out what like really works. So
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
yeah, I do love this point what you said about the like today's people and that they can like people are savvy and like
Mm,
I think it's really a better way to think about it is that like the like think about how much you're gonna or like the more you give, I think the more people like might be actually drawn to you. That wow, like when you give away for free and like actually and like excites people, and then they're like, oh my God, I want to know this person or organization. Like what more am I going to get if I get like more involved or give more of my attention? So yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with that.
Mm.
So I mean I get it. We're both business owners. We totally sympathize and understand with you
Yeah.
if you feel that way, that you
Yeah.
don't want to give away, the golden egg, so to speak, and show too much and feel like they won't sign up because you've already told them everything. There's a delicate balance. Um,
Mm.
but there is definitely a place for giving, and expecting people to meet you with your generosity. So
Yeah.
something to play with.
Yeah, totally. I think that was it for Veganuary and January. Or
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. Wow, how the time flew again. Thanks so much for sharing your thoughts and
Yeah,
okay, so I think that's everything we had for this session. I hope, or we hope you found that useful. And if you have any thoughts or feedback, like please do share. Or if you want us to have a look at your landing page, like maybe you can like send it over, um, or your business landing page, since we're going to be looking at those later on. But otherwise, I just want to thank you for your time, Bree, and like we want to thank everybody for watching and
absolutely.
listening. We're gonna be back in February, same time, same week, day. Yeah,
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you next
yeah.
time.
Thanks. Bye.